Hi, my name is Renee Berger. I am one of 300 volunteer guides with San Francisco City Guides, a program of the public library. We lead walking tours of San Francisco. Today, I'm going to take you on a brief but spectacular trip through San Francisco history using our oldest building, Mission St. Francis of Assisi, better known as Mission Dolores, as the vehicle to learn about the mission, life under the Spaniards, then under the Mexicans, and lastly, under the Americans. The church is the last stop of the Mission Dolores neighborhood tour. Our moment in history has nearly 250 years to travel, so let's go. It is a wild ride. The beautiful Mission Dolores Church, located on Dolores Street, just off 16th, was dedicated in 1791. The story of the church, however, starts 15 years earlier, specifically on June 29, 1776, when a couple of Franciscan priests accompanied by a few Spanish colonists celebrated a mass at the corner of Albion and Camp Streets, just a few blocks from the current site. Here we see a historic plaque of the area, but alas, according to recent analysis, that very blue lagoon was more likely seasonal flooding. June 29th is the date that is celebrated as the founding of San Francisco. It was for the Spaniards, but thousands of years earlier, Native Americans known as the Ohlone arrived here. The Mass signified the beginning of a mission. With freedom denied to its indigenous peoples, it meant enslavement. The stated purpose was to convert them to Christianity. But apart from being evangelized, mission life was a four-letter word: work. Backbreaking work, farming and ranching, caring for thousands of animals. The labors of the indigenous peoples included building this church, making upwards of 26,000 adobe bricks that still form its walls. Spain's missionizing here continued for about 25 years, ending in 1821, marking the beginning of the Mexican period. Whereas Spain was religion-centric, Mexico was decidedly secular. They sold the lands, leaving just this church, a seminary, and a hostel for travelers. With virtually no one living here, indigenous or otherwise, the church fell into a state of disrepair. In the 1850s, with California a newly minted state, San Francisco in the heat of gold rush fever, the population having exploded from under 1,000 in 1848 to over 25,000 in 1850, the mission area became a pleasuring grounds, with a racetrack, saloons, dance halls, and the occasional bull and bear fight. The area, once for the pious, now, well, it was for the impious. In 1906, the post-quake fires roared towards the Mission Dolores Church and its adjacent red brick one, built to accommodate a growing immigrant population. The firefighters saw that the brick one had collapsed and rushed to save the old adobe one, dynamiting the area to create a fire break. With great sensitivity, the old Mission Church was restored, among its outstanding features being the magnificent altar inside, the ceiling, and its rafters with an Ohlone motif of chevrons. We cannot end this moment in history without mentioning the Mission Dolores Cemetery that lies by the side of the church. Here rest the bones of 5,000 indigenous peoples who lived and died in the mission, including those who built this church. In the midst of the tombstones, there is an Ohlone home. Here we also find the famous, our first governor and mayor, when it was Mexican territory, sharing sacred ground with the infamous Charles Cora, a notorious gambler, and his wife, Belle Cora, the fashionable owner of one of the city's most exclusive brothels that catered to the wealthy. Well, as I said, a wild ride. Thank you. When we think of the old Mission Church and that its roots go back to June 29th, 1776, we should put our ears to it and listen, as it tells the outsized history of our little city, of the Spaniards, the Mexicans, and the immigrants that have given it so much life. Please do be sure to visit our website, sfcityguides.org, and I look forward to sharing more of this remarkable story with you on the Mission Dolores Neighborhood Tour. Thank you.